Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om lead us, thou God, from unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all.
Namaste. Welcome to Yoga for Health, Happiness, and Liberation. I'm Meeta Gajjar, and this is my father, Bharat Gajjar. We're so happy you could join us today. Our topic for today's show is Lord Buddha.
Yes, and you will have namaskar. Okay. Go ahead then.
You don't have to be a vegetarian to practice meditation, but it helps. What I'm going to read today is from the daily reading of Lord Buddha, from the Mata Bata. Mataka Bataka?
Yes.
The future Buddha as Bodhisattva was incarnate as a tree divinity in the kingdom of Kashi when Brahmadatta was king. In that kingdom, there were very many pious and religious Brahmana. One of them resolved to perform a rite to propitiate his departed ancestors. This Brahmana said to his disciples, "Take this goat to the river, bathe it and adorn it with garlands. Then bring it back to me to be sacrificed to propitiate my ancestors." They bowed to him in obedience and took the goat away to the river. On account of some merit it had earned in a past lifetime, the goat remembered what it had done then. Recollecting those events, it was filled with joy in the knowledge that its life of sorrow was soon to end. It laughed aloud. Then the goat thought of the Brahmana and what he was about to do. Considering the consequences of the Brahmana's deed, the goat began to weep. The young disciples were astonished at this and asked the goat, "Friend, why did you laugh and why do you weep?" By this time they had reached the master's house, and the goat narrated the following story of his own past. "In a previous lifetime, I too was a Brahmana. Like you, I too offered a sacrifice to propitiate departed ancestors, as enjoined in the Veda. In that sacrifice, I killed a goat. For that sinful action, I had to suffer 499 times my head has been cut off. This is the 500th and last time. When I have paid the penalty this time, I shall be freed from sorrow." Thinking of this, I laughed. But then the thought occurred to me that you, who are taking my life in a similar way to propitiate your ancestors, will similarly suffer an unhappy destiny. When this thought arose in me, I was filled with compassion, and so I wept aloud. Hearing this story, the Brahmana was awakened, and he declared, "I will not offer this goat in sacrifice." But the goat responded, "Even then, I cannot but pay the penalty ordained for me, though by desisting from killing me, you will be saved from an evil destiny." The goat was set free. It was grazing near the top of a rock. There was a storm, thunder and lightning. Struck by a thunderbolt, the rock was shattered and a piece of rock knocked off the head of the goat. The Bodhisattva, who as the tree divinity was observing all this, manifested himself as a celestial being and instructed all those present, if only people understood what an evil destiny follows the taking of life, then they will surely desist from such cruelty. He discoursed at great length on the evil of killing. The people who heard him were so greatly inspired that they abandoned killing and cruelty and resorted to loving kindness and charity.
Thank you, Meeta. Eastern philosophy believes that there is a soul in animal and vegetables, so we must have compassion. Now, if you do not believe in reincarnation, the story which Meeta read has no meaning. But if you believe that yes, there is past lives and also your action has reaction, so you will be more careful. But if you say, well, I don't believe in that, so it is okay. Now, today, meditation is very important, and Lord Buddha was teaching in the meditation. So, in this series, this is our second session on meditation by the Lord Buddha. He was a great sage, and also to us, he's just like the Lord. Buddhism is practiced in South Asia, Tibet, Eastern Asia, and also maybe in China partly. Lord Buddha says the goals of Buddhist meditations are four. Now listen very carefully because it has very profound meaning. First is to end suffering. Now, if you are suffering and if you say, well, suffering is part of the game and I must suffer, then it's okay. But if you say, well, I should not suffer, then you understand. Part of the life is suffering. To reach nirvana. Now, what is nirvana? It's not an heaven. Nirvana means bringing the heavenly, wonderful, loving feelings in this life, on this earth. Nirvana is a conditioning of the mind where you are completely blissful, happy. And ultimately come out from the circle of life and death, life and death. Because if you say, well, I believe in certain word and I am given guarantee to go to heaven, then it's okay. There are many ways to do it. But Lord Buddha says, no. You have to do the right thing and be good, do good, and Swami Shivananda gave the great recipe. Serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize who you are to come out from this circle of life and death. Now, nirvana, what nirvana means? Let's examine nirvana. It is extinction of klesha. That means conflict, your inner conflict with the world that prevents spiritual happiness and inner freedom. Look at the beautiful word, spiritual happiness. There is a spiritual happiness within you. And also inner freedom. You're not free. You think you're free. But the past karma drags you in and you say, well, I want to be free. You're not free. And then what you do? When you're miserable, you take some tranquilizer and so forth and so on. So let's examine the klesha. It's a most beautiful word, klesha. First, there are three kleshas. First, you love to have certain things. Love. It is raga. It is pleasing. Something pleasing to you and you are stuck with that. You want it. Okay? Second is dvesha. You hate certain person. You hate certain place. You hate this summer weather. You hate. And then you are unhappy. And third, moha. You have so many desires not fulfilled, so you are miserable. That's the clash. That is a conflict. Your inner conflict don't allow you to be in nirvana, to be happy. So what is the objective in this life? To be happy. Now, everyone wants to be happy. So you have to experience the love. That is spiritual life. How can you experience the love? So, what is again nirvana? Let's examine deeper. The Lord Buddha explains the nirvana. He says, no matter what assailed, anger does not arise. No matter what happens, you don't get angry, upset. You examine and deal with it. But something happens which you don't like, so you get all upset. But if you are in nirvana, feeling, you are balanced mind. No matter what the pleasure, compulsive longing need not arise. I must have that. I must have this. I must have her love or whatever. I must have this one. So that brings a klesha. That brings unhappiness again. So you have to deal with that. And then no matter what circumstances, a feeling of intimate need not arise, desire. But you are not rejecting anything. Only thing I must have is gone. And you are living a very happy life. Now, dog do not have these things, problem, because he is in pure dharma, which human beings can go out and have this mind, so that becomes a problem. So Lord Buddha says, how to control your mind. And that is the game, that is the process to be happy. So he is giving a formula to be happy and successful. Now, let's go to the Lord Buddha says there are 4 noble truths. Look at the noble truth, 4. And that, if you let life guide you with this noble truth, you will be happier. What is the first one? Suffering. Suffering is a part of life. So don't run away from it, but deal with it. And it is coming. So when suffering will end, where there is pleasure, there is suffering. Suffering means when life ends, suffering gone. So as long as you're a human being, you have challenges, suffering is part of it. So, but too much suffering you want to avoid. How are you going to do that? How can you get out from this suffering? First, understand the cause. What makes you miserable? What is the cause? Most deepest, your reason makes you unhappy. What is the cause? And how can you escape from this suffering? So Buddha says, yes, you can escape. And the fourth is the way to escape. There is a way to escape. So 4 things: suffering, cause of suffering, there is escape, and there is a way to escape. So how are you going to do it? So this is the message of Lord Buddha. He has written down. First, there are explanation follows here. Suffering. It is a part of life. Accept it. First, okay. But some people accept everything and they do not want to do anything. They say, well, I'm a human being, I must suffer. Lord Buddha says, no. First accept it and then say, okay, how can I get out from this miserable condition? Okay? One is outside suffering, one is internal suffering. The internal suffering has to be eliminated through the process which he is describing. Cause. What are the 3 causes? Craving for something, aversion, hating something, or ignorance. Now look at the word ignorance. That's the 3rd reason why people are suffer, because they do not know ignorance. So what is your thing? What you need to do? Know yourself. Understand why you're suffering. Why these feelings you have, and what is this conflict within? That has to be eliminated. This klesha, conflict. And again, after this life, you want to completely forget the whole thing for eternity. Okay? Everybody wants to do that. Everybody says, so you have come in this life with a baggage, garbage from the past lives. There is a baggage. There is a good baggage and now there is a bad baggage. So bad baggage is your sin. And good baggage is all the grace. So everybody likes the grace, but nobody likes this baggage which is sin. So somebody says, okay, you believe in this, all sin disappear. But first you don't believe in the past lives, so there is an entirely different way of thinking. Okay? That's a different story. Here we are talking about accepting the karma, the reincarnation. If you don't accept that, all these things don't mean anything. Maybe you can say, okay, I don't feel good, so meditate, maybe it can help. But there is a cleansing has to be done. The garbage, the baggage which you have brought has to be cleaned out. So that is what we will talk about. To escape. How can you escape? The following 8 fold the Lord Buddha has given for the suffering. Way of escape. Listen to his message. First message. Practice Dharma. Dharma means doing the right thing. What is Dharma? A dog knows his Dharma. He will not go beyond his limit. And he eats the right food, he will love, and he will be just satisfied. But he will not do anything which is not his nature. So human being knows what is his nature. But then he likes to, maybe I can go a little bit this way. And then you can create all kind of philosophy. Okay? Now, you have to understand